Hey, how you guys doing? This is William Myers from Mantis Outdoors out here in the woods with Chris for Prepared Mind 101.
Hey.
That was Chris. And we're just going to show you a real basic trap, primitive trap right now. It's the very first trap that I teach my students. It's the very first trap that I teach my kids. It's just a very basic trap. So really the point of this video is not to show you how to build the trap, which we will anyway, but I want to show you how versatile this trap is. It's not a very complicated trap, which I don't like complicated traps. I don't want to be out there in the woods making 25, 30 super hyper complicated contraptions. I want to be able to snap some branches, put them in the ground, get a spring snare going, get a snare, a running snare going. If I don't have to do something, I'm not going to. I'm going to set up 10, 15 deadfalls. I'm going to set up 10, 15, 20 spring snares, and then I'm ready to roll. So let's get to it, show you how this works. Alright guys, so what we got going on down here, like I said, is just a very basic spring snare trap. And it utilizes a Y. You can use a Y even in a tree. You don't have to go out and harvest one. If you can utilize something that's already existing, go ahead and do that. But just a basic toggle in the back here with a bait stick. Bait stick's right here. Usually I would make this smaller to bait, shave it down a little bit, but it's easier to show up on camera if things are a little bit bigger. And utilizing this bank line here, it's a number 36 bank line that I've taken one strand off, and so it can be have a little bit of memory to it. So I staked out the snare a little bit. All right, so the point of this, you really want to make this a hair trigger system, but the animal comes in here and starts chewing on the bait stick and then gets caught. And really what you want to focus on is, if you're using like bank line or any kind of natural cordage, you need to get your animal up off the ground. So as long as his paw's up here and everything is suspended and off the ground, he's not going to be able to reach up and chew this cordage and just get away. So if you run like a blind snare on the ground, he'll be able to just kind of curl around and chew this and get right off of it. So you want to focus on getting them off the ground. But like I said, the point of this video is to show you guys the versatility of this trap. So we're going to set this up again, and it's real easy to set this trap up, guys. All you got to do is place your toggle in the Y stick just like that. Kind of grab the back of it. Place your bait stick in right against the trigger stick, and then let it get pressure. And watch your face, because this is when things usually go wrong. Alright, so now instead of putting the snare on it, I'm going to set the snare to the side, just like this. And what ideally I would do is make a dirt set. Dig this in a little bit, and then set these sticks up, just like this. Basically what I'm doing is I'm turning this trap into a treadle trap. And then you could throw something underneath here, like if you're targeting meat eaters like raccoons or possums, throw like some fish guts or something underneath of it. So whatever gets in here is going to be curious about that smell. And what I would do is I would put this basically up against the side of the dirt hole like this, so nothing's going to step this way, because that'll be the side of the hole. And just kind of set up your treadle here, just like this. Yeah, kind of fill in the holes. You don't want a foot going through it. And then grab your snare, reset it, and then throw it on the actual treadle itself, just like that. See, basically just you're setting up your treadle. This is kind of take two at a battery issue. Then instead of wrapping it around this side, like I said in the first take, you just kind of put your snare on the actual treadle itself, just like that. And then, like I said, building a dirt hole set, you'd have the actual dirt button up against that, and then your bait in here, which could be anything from fish guts to whatever you were eating last night. Save a little bit of it, leave it out in the sun, let it get nice and stinky. And then fill up your dirt hole with leaves and stuff like that, but I want to leave those out to demonstrate. And then whatever comes in here to smell the bait is going to put their paw down to get their nose in there and then set the snare off. Alright guys, well, the last one that I'm going to show you guys, go ahead and reset here. Get our treadle out of the way here. The last one that I'm going to show you guys is basically for fishing, and we'll go ahead and reset this just like this. Just make sure we got kind of a hair trigger on there, and then if you can imagine, instead of this being a snare, this being a fishing line, okay? You know, your sinker and all this is set up on it, your hook, all that stuff. This could be, you know, 20, 25, 30 foot thrown out into the water. But what we do first before we throw it out in the water, and when you're throwing it out in the water, you have to be very careful, is kind of give it a little bit of a loop around, just a little square knot. Be very, very careful. Watch your face when you're doing this, guys. Just like that. Okay? And then throw your line out in the water. Catfishing, you know, is what I use this for mostly. And then when the catfish takes the bait, pulls, he sets the hook for you. So this can be on the bank working for you when you're in camp, relaxing, doing other camp tasks, getting ready for bed, letting these traps soak overnight, going in the morning, see if you have a nice catfish or a raccoon or possum, what have you. And there you go. Alright guys, just a little note, primitive trapping in most states in the continental United States is absolutely illegal. You have to do your research and see. I offhand, just off my memory, do not know of any state that it is legal in. I know that there are a few, that have to go and research that for you. I might note that down at the bottom. But just, you know, doing this would be something that you practice, and it's kind of hard not to bait it and see what happens and get your practice that way. But, you know, setting these up and letting them, you know, fire them on yourself, basically, stuff like that, you know, that's the only way you're going to get legal practice doing this. Alright guys, well, this has been William Myers, Mantis Outdoors. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I appreciate it if you click subscribe down below. Liking my video helps me and my channel out a lot. I appreciate all your views, comments, and support, and hopefully we'll see you out in the woods. Now you have a treadle style, and it's the same trap, just in a different configuration. Almost couldn't spit that out, huh? Hi, Ma. I might have to actually go and research it. Probably Kentucky. Everything's legal in Kentucky. You know, if you feel like doing it on your own, then, you know, hey, I'm not condoning it. But Peto's going to be all over me, dude. Oh my God! Alright, guys, this has been Mantis out. 3, 2, 1.